Hello, this is part 4 of the Modeling Basics series. My name is Brian Rocks, and we will continue adding some detail to this beast here. As you can see, I've kind of went ahead and did some of the front-facing details and some on the top here. It's using the same tools that in the previous video and the same ones that'll be used in this one. I did make a time lapse of it if you want to take a look. So let's get started with this here. What we will do today is pull up a reference here, and we're going to cut out the opening for the ramp, and also make a starting blank, I guess, for the ramp itself. I'll also do this back portion and just the doing the edges on this outer wing here. So what we want to do is select this bottom piece here. I'm going to move this to layer 3. So M to move, and then 3, enter. And we will start by closing this off, because you can see it's just a open geometry here. I'm going to close it off to make it technically solid, I guess. First I'm going to go into vertex select. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this point here back to match this back point. So what we're going to do is select this back point and just make a note of the Y position of the vertex. Select this top corner one here. Now hit E to extrude, and then just click in the Y field there, and it's a 0.27. Oops, 7158, and enter. And now that is in the same position as that bottom piece. Hit edge select. Select this new edge that you made. Excuse me. E to extrude. Grab the X handle and just drag it until it locks into place there at the center. Right click on this first edge again, and shift right click on that one and hit F to create a face. And now hit A to select everything and go over here to remove doubles, and you'll see it removed one vertex up front here. So now we have a solid piece, because otherwise you'd have a opening. If you were to move this, you'd see an opening here. So now we've got that all solid. We want to cut the ramp opening here. So we hit Control 7 to go into bottom view. Scroll out a bit, and we want to do a knife cut first for the edge of the ramp. Because if you do the loop cut and then hit Control 1, you see you have an angle here. You could do that if you wanted the edges of your ramp to be angled. I'm just going to keep it the way this is here, and this is vertical. So we want to do a knife cut, so it's a clean straight cut there. So I hit Control Z and Control 7 to go back in the top view, or the bottom view I mean. And go over here to knife tool, and I'm going to cut. It doesn't matter really where, because we can move it. Drag your mouse down, hit C to lock this angle, and then also before you click anything, just press Z, so we're cutting through these edges here, and just go past everything, and then left click, and then spacebar. So now I'm going to actually move this in a little bit, so Alt right click and then Control E, and we'll slide this in a bit. Give it a little bit of width here. So go about right there. A to deselect that. Now we need a loop cut for this edge, and then we'll need one for the front edge and one for the back edge of this little wing that sticks out. So I hit loop cut and click that right there, and actually we need the back edge of the ramp. So let's do a loop cut. Oops. And actually just do it right there in the center. Loop cut again. And bring that down about right there for the front part of that wing. And that loop cut there for the back edge. I'm going to hit Z to give us a shaded view. And I'm going to Alt right click on this. I'm going to Control E to edge slide this in a little bit more. And Alt right click on that one and Control E and edge slide. I'm going to bring it out to the edge a little bit. Okay. And now you see the back edge of this has got a little bit of an angle to it, so go ahead and select this edge, shift select this one, and not what I wanted to do, so Control Z, just select this edge and bring it up. Okay, and that's the basic shape of that ramp there. Hit face select, and before we actually cut the hole, we're going to shift right click these pieces here, because this will actually serve as the basis for the ramp, so you wouldn't have to model a whole new piece to fit into the hole there. So shift right click these 4 faces, shift D to duplicate, and then hit P to separate, and then just click on selection. Now if you tab into object mode and you right click to highlight that one, you see you have a new piece that you can model and tweak later on. So we're going to move this out of the way, hit M and then 4 to get it to layer 4, then right click on this guy again and tab into edit mode. And now we want to delete, I'm going to get a better view here. Let's see, that one should do. We want to delete just the rectangle shape all the way through, and then we will extrude this one up into here, and then we'll close off this edge because it will be open after we cut the hole through it. So Control 7, excuse me, Z to remove the shading, hit B to border select these faces, and you can hit delete, and now we got our hole there. And what we want to do is select this face, E to extrude, and drag it down along the Z axis. Just go about halfway. And right click there, so select that face, and we will delete it. So now you see we have the basic shape of the opening, and all we need to do is close this edge off. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead and go and edge select. I'm going to select this edge. Select this top edge here and shift select that one and hit F to create a face. And we'll do the same. So I'm going to do the same here first. Select this edge and then this one, F for a face. And we'll create a loop cut back here. Select this edge and then this one here. Create a face there. Select these and create face. And see, I want a loop cut. Let's do one here. Select this face and this one, F to create a face. And actually I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to just do a loop cut and just bring it out a little bit. and then select this edge there, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and these two. And now you have this all closed off. And that is the opening for the ramp there. So let's move this back to layer 1. So M and then 1, enter. And bring it back around here. And now we will do this outer edge here. Let's see. So we'll just be creating creating a new piece to kind of enshroud this all the junk here in the back. And we'll just do that by duplicating this piece. So hit 7 to go into top view. Z to get rid of that shading. Shift D, duplicate. Tab into edit mode. Select those edges there. Bring it back a little bit. Doesn't matter where right now. We can always move them later. Tab back into object mode. Select the outer piece. Oops. I'm going to Control 1 to go into back view. Tab in edit mode. I'm going to go back into vertex select. And since we have a symmetrical piece, we can cut off the bottom half here. So just loop cut this middle. Loop cut right there in the center, and A, deselect all that. B, border select this, and we will delete these vertices. And now we need 1, 2 horizontal loop cuts and 2 verticals. Go back here, loop cut. Oops, didn't want to do that one yet. Control Z. Loop cut, bring this down right there, so. And we can go ahead and actually delete this bottom bit. And see another loop cut. Oh, actually, we don't need that one, so I'm going to Control Z to get rid of that. Do loop cut, and we'll do the vertical one. Let's see where we want. Of course, it's all up to you, really. Let's do about right there. I'm going to hit Alt, right click on that, and Control E. Move that out a little bit. And then border select these, and we'll move that up. Okay, it's looking good. Let's see what else we need. Actually, let's back up a minute. Let's Control Z a couple times. Control 1 to go in the back view. I want an extra loop cut right there so we can create that beveled edge. So let's just put it about right there. And let's do this. Z to get that shading out of the way. B and border select these. Go ahead and delete them. And shift right click these. Oops. Don't want to select anything in the back, so yeah, shift and right click these and hit F to create a face. And so now we can actually edge select, shift select all these, and just boop, pull it back a little bit. Okay. And now we want to create some thickness on it, so we'll shift select these edges, E to extrude, the Y handle here, and bring it back a little bit. Go into face select mode, and go ahead and just delete that face, and we'll just redo it. As you see, we want to, well, help if I had a better reference. Let's pull that up. I think it's this one. Yep. You want to have the little thickness coming around just the edge there. So I'm going to go into edge select. Select that edge, hit E to extrude. I'm just going to grab that Z handle and bring it down to the thickness you want. Select that, shift select this, and F to create a face. And then go into vertex select, select just that vertex and the Y handle to move that back a little bit. And so now you have the thickness going around that whole edge there. And we can actually go around to this back side and see how much of that we need. You can see that's not connected there, but let's see what we need here. Let's do this. Go tab in edit mode. I want to move this to layer 3. Go to layer 3, and we only need just basically this thickness here. We can get rid of this. Delete those vertices down there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to snap this to this vertex just so we don't have this opening here. So just select this, shift select that second one, hit Alt M. It brings up the merge, and hit at last, because that was we want to merge the first vertex to the last one that we selected. So now you just have a nice closed geometry there, and you can actually shift select these and just bring them up a little bit if you want. Not necessary, but I get a little anal about that kind of stuff for no reason. Let's see. Let's go ahead and move this back to layer 1. Let's see, what I want to do is, you can see that you have a little bit of, you have these two objects in the same exact spot, since all we did was duplicate this initial shape. So we want to move that out of the way so it doesn't cause any problems rendering later. So select that block piece that we created, tab in edit mode, and hit A to deselect all that. Go ahead and go into edge select, select the top two edges here, and go ahead and just move those down a little bit. And do the same with the bottom part too as well, because we'd have the same problem down there too, because that's going to be hidden most of the way, so you don't really need to be exact or anything. Just move it out of the way so it's not interfering with this face up top here later on when you're rendering it, because you just get really funky artifacts. It looks pretty ugly. Let's see here. See, now we want to duplicate this piece that we made down to the bottom, but I don't want to mirror. I don't want to mirror this because the let's see, the detail on this top part that we're going to model is different than what's on the bottom, which is basically just an opening for the landing gear. So we're going to just go ahead and select that piece and just shift D to duplicate. And then I'm going to hit shift C to center that cursor to the origin point again. And we'll go ahead and actually excuse me. Go ahead and go to edit mode, hit A to select all of that, then go into mesh and mirror Z. That's not doing what I want it to do, so control 1. Do this. select the pivot point around the 3D cursor. Have all of this selected in edit mode. Hit mesh again, hit mirror, and then Z. And now we're mirrored down the bottom and left click to finalize that. So now we have two separate pieces here, so we can model them separately. In this top part, we want to actually add a few more loop cuts to raise the raise that portion. Did I close that out already? Huh. We want to raise these little panels up top. So we're just going to do 4 loop cuts, and then we'll extrude that top portion there. So tab in edit mode, and you can see we already have two loop cuts. And if we just select this edge in the edge select mode here, just select this edge, and you can control E and edge slide, and you can slide this edge without messing up the geometry of this bevel. And you won't have to do an extra loop cut. So I'm going to just move this, move it in a little bit. I'm going to select this one, control E, move that one down. Now we'll do a loop cut on the outside here. I'm not worrying about where they're positioned yet, so just do the loop cut and right click to finalize it. And I'm going to go 7 to go on top view. Yeah, see, I'm going to right click on that. See, it looks like we have the same width on these, so I'm going to actually make them a little wider. So I'm going to right click on this one, control E, edge slide. There we are. Wrong one. Control up, get back here. Control Z a couple times. Let's see, now we just have that one selected. Control E to edge slide and not edge split. Slide that down a little bit. Pull that screenshot up. Yeah, we'll go Control E again. A little bit more. And that's a good thickness there. I'm gonna leave this. Actually, this is fine on this edge, so I'm just gonna select this edge and Control E, and we'll slide that down, just approximating the width of the first one here, and that looks fine. Then we just need 2 more loop cuts, one at the top, one at the bottom, and put that one right about there. Loop cut here, and we'll move that down right there. So now we can go into face select and select these two, shift select these two here, and I'm going to hit E to extrude, and hit G to grab the Z axis, and we'll move this up. Control 1, go into back view, and you can just grab, make them as tall as you want. Yeah, I'm going to go 7 to go in top view. I'm going to select these individually, so just select one of them. I'm going to hit scale. Actually do scale along the y-axis. Bring that down a little bit. And scale x-axis. Oops, I know what we got to do. Control Z to undo that. I'm going to bring this back to, so we're scaling around the middle of the face instead of the center point. It was scaling down into the center there. So now that we have that scaling around the median point of the face, we hit S and then Y. Hold the shift key to get a little better control out of it. Just give it a little inset there, and then S and then X to scale along. Hold the shift key down. Oops. S and X, and actually I don't need the shift key for this. Just bring it in a little bit. And then select this face again, and scale along the y-axis. Hold the shift key to give you a little control, and let's go about right there, and scale x-axis, and there we go. Now I'm going to select a few edges here. I'm going to edge select. Just move that down just so we're matching. And go into vertex select. Bring that down a bit, and same here. Actually, I want to select that, bring that up. So now you see we have these panels up top here. So that covers that, and we're not going to do the landing gear holes yet. We'll just do those with the landing gear. Now we'll do this outer bit here, and we'll be done for this one. This one's pretty quick and easy. Just actually gonna select this left one here. Hit tab into edit mode. Looks like I just want to select 2 faces and leave this outer one alone. So face select, and shift select these 2 faces. E to extrude, but then right click to reset it, and then S to scale, and we'll just scale it down a bit. Oh, I'm going to scale that a little more. And that looks pretty even except this outer edge, so I'm going to go to edge select, select this edge, and we'll just bring it out along the X a little bit. And I'm going to shift select these and scale along the Z. Bring that thickness down. Select this edge along the X. Yeah, it looks good. Now I'll go back into face select and shift select these. E to extrude, and then just grab that along the Y handle a little bit. And I think we need to cut out. Yeah, we need to cut for the engines, and a little cut there. So I'm gonna loop cut. Oops. Go control 1. Go in the back view again. Let's see. We'll loop cut. We'll position it here. Actually, I'm gonna knife this instead. I'm gonna vertex select. And let's tab into object mode. I'm going to move this to layer 3. And get some shading on there. Okay, control 1. And tab into edit mode. And see, knife. Do about right there. Let's see. Give us a straight line. I'm going to hit Z to cut through. And we'll just left click and then spacebar. And we'll do one more. Knife. C to constrain, Z to cut through, and then left click and spacebar. So I'm going to need a... I'm just going to use the center line here to give us a fairly good approximation anyway. So I'm going to alt right click this loop and control E, edge slide. That's not doing what I want it to. Let's do this. Control Z to get rid of those loops. We'll do this. We'll cut this thing in half. A to deselect that, and just border select this bottom part. And delete these vertices. Now we'll knife. Give us at least a consistent width across the center line. So let's see. So left click, C to constrain, Z to cut through, and then left click and spacebar. See how thick we want this. Let's see. That doesn't matter, so this one we can always adjust later too as well. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to just border select this. Bring it up a little bit. Oops, control 1, and then I'm going to border select, whoops, all those, and we'll just give it a width like that. Then we can actually just go ahead and delete these vertices here. And delete these here, these front two. Actually, Control Z to undo that. We'll just remove this vertice. That'll work. Okay, now we need to basically close these ends off. And I'm probably doing this the hard way, but see. Oops, I'm gonna go into top view first. And we'll do a loop cut. Come on. So just match that up there. And we can just shift click all those. Hit F to create a face. Alright, and then we need to do the same with this little guy down here. And this I am going to actually bring this back a little bit. I'm going to actually remove these. Oops. And remove these outer vertices here, because we'll close that off later. Let's see what I need. Okay, next we just need to close this bottom part and this side here. So what I'll do is, see, mark the mark the Z position of this vertice here. So get 502134. Select this one. And I'm going to E to extrude, and then Z 5.02134. Oh, that was the wrong way. I was looking at the wrong one. Huh. 18916. So select that vertice again. I'm going to just do this, just highlight that. Control C, just left click out of there. Grab this vertice, go back in here and Control V, and then left click. So now we can just close this edge off here. And we'll select these points and hit F to create a face, and that will do it for that. And we can actually do this, we'll be tweaking it later anyway. So I'm going to hit Tab, go into edit mode, hit Control 1 again. Then we can just click on the Z axis in your mirror modifier here. And we have the beginnings of the wing there. And so I'm going to move this back to layer 1. So move M and then 1. Yeah, now you see we have the back part of the ship detailed here, and then what we will do next are the spin and the spin duplicate modifiers to create the engines and this airlock bit here in the back. So any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them, and thank you for watching.